Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of the No ID podcast. I have a legend in the game, iconic figure. You've seen her everywhere. The one and only Daisy Ducati.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being a part of the No ID podcast and being patient. We had a little technical difficulties earlier, but it's cool. It's a journey.
We figured it out.
For you guys that don't know, Daisy Ducati is I'm gonna say, is an actress. She's an adult actor. You've seen her OnlyFans. You can follow her on Instagram, Twitter. She has merch out. Um, you on Pornhub as well too, correct? Hello.
What was it?
You on Pornhub as well too, correct?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm all over the internet.
So, what made you get started into the industry, the adult industry?
Well, so I was doing some mainstream modeling in college and offered some fetish work, and it kind of snowballed from there. Like I did a latex runway show, and then I started doing some of the like wrestling fetish stuff. And then I started working for Ultimate Surrender for kink.com. And then once I was in at Kink, I started working for all their sites, and then it just got bigger and bigger, I guess. And I really enjoyed it along the way, so kept diving in deeper.
I saw a few of the Ultimate Surrender clips. It's you and Kelly Provocateur. I hope I pronounced that correct. And you guys are literally kicking ass.
Oh man. Yeah. It's real. A lot of people think it's scripted, but like it's impossible to script something to that level, I guess. Like we're not stunt coordinators. We're actually wrestling. So, and back in the old days of Ultimate Surrender, we actually used to get paid a little bit more for winning. So there was an incentive to win.
Yeah. Your work is different, right? Because, a lot of the times you see, well, before the Pornhub made that announcement, they're going to take off any type of porn that was not verified. So those stolen clips. So you had a lot of urban clips, home like these, like somebody recorded off of flip phone clips that will pop up whenever you put it into a search. Did you start off? Well, you say you started off in fetish. Were you like more on the urban scene, or were you more like mainstream, where it's more background?
No, I was doing more like BDSM and like very specific fetish work, and like clips for sale type stuff in the beginning. Yeah, lots of like femdom and latex fetish, shoe fetish, foot fetish, that sort of thing. And I started my own clip store pretty early on.
Yeah, I just had a young lady on the podcast in my first episode, and she was telling me about the BDSM and the fetish porn and pegging. And it just got a whole different realm. I know people in the industry, and it's a little different. Does this, like, when if somebody was recognized you on the street, have you ever had somebody like hit on you based off what they see online, or?
Yeah, usually fans are pretty chill when they meet me in public. I've had a couple of strange incidents. Most people are scared to talk to me because a lot of the stuff I do is pretty extreme. And so they think I'm going to be mean, but I'm actually pretty chill when I'm off camera. But I've had people like say hi and run away, or like or they'll pull the I think I know you from somewhere, and then I have to be like, do you want me to tell you where in front of your wife? But most times people are pretty chill when I meet them in public. You know?
I can only like imagine like if I was out, I'm not married, but if I was out with my wife and I saw her, you know, like, oh my God, there's Daisy. Next thing you know, just gonna complete 180. Well, who knows? Probably like watching it with them. Who knows? You know, has that has that ever affected like your dating life or anything like that? You ever found somebody that was comfortable with the work that you do, or
Yeah, I mean, I I have a pretty great dating life. I'm pretty upfront about what I do, and like if someone can't handle it, then I don't really have time for it, you know. Um, I don't try to hide anything or like downplay anything. I'm just me, and like I couldn't hide at this point. I'm everywhere. So, you know, just got to be down with it.
that's true. I mean, it is it is definitely got to be down and comfortable with it. So I respect you being comfortable with yourself, and I'm gonna give you your flowers. I found out about you a couple of years ago on Instagram through Cinnamon Love.
All the time. Like I'm working 5 days a week. Like my work is such a large part of my life.
Who were
So,
some of your inspirations in the industry that you followed?
um, I really admire like Aiden Starr and Nina Hartley. They're both really good friends of mine now, and they're people that I watched long before I was in the industry. Um, Anna Fox, I've known her since the beginning. She's incredible. Lotus Lane, also incredible. I have a lot of really, there's a lot of really awesome people in this industry.
Have you ever ran
And
into an
like
incident where it
people
wasn't?
who are not only, oh yeah, there's a few people that I don't necessarily get along with. I don't really have any like mortal enemies, you know, but there's a couple people that like I don't necessarily need to work with. But I don't know. I try to stay pretty chill and like be professional when it comes to work. So like even if I don't necessarily want to be friends with somebody, I can usually still work with them and keep it cool, I guess. There's only like one or two people where I'm like, no, I'm not gonna even deal with you.
I can understand. Definitely can understand. It's just like me being a comedian. There's some comedians that I do not like, but if we were on the same card with each other, you know, I'll speak to them. There is one comedian I would never deal with based off of a past experience that I had with working with them
Yeah.
and reaching out. So if somebody wants to get started into the industry, right? Where did they start at? Because you know, like I said before, like you see a lot of people
Yeah.
now pulling out the iPhone and recording, and it's terrible angles, and they're just doing it just to do it. Like, how did this?
Yeah.
How does this? Um,
I mean, there's a lot of resources online to learn video production. A lot of what I learned along the way was just from shooting on professional sets, um, and just talking to people and networking. And you can shoot decent content on an iPhone. You just have to know how to do it. There's like apps to control the settings, and you have to shoot it horizontally. But and you have to light it correctly. But it can be done, and you can easily shoot awesome content at home with very minimal equipment, but you have to kind of know what you're doing. And there's lots of YouTube videos about video production. There's lots of resources available online for free. So I think just learning the technical aspects of like how to light it and how to shoot it and all that, are really important. And then as far as like how to market it is a whole nother skill. um, you like you have to choose where you're going to upload it and then figure out like what the culture is around that site. Like uploading to Pornhub is completely different from uploading to Clips for Sale and things like that. You have to like know how things work where you're uploading, because you can't just upload something and expect it to sell immediately if you have no followers and no marketing, you know?
Yeah, I
Like
think
there's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes into it.
I think a lot of it goes towards like your personality, your pictures that you upload, samples. It's got to be like a good teaser sometimes. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I
And
subscribed to OnlyFans and I was highly disappointed. Kind of wanted my $8 back because it was nothing. And it was for a friend. It was nothing that I had really. I don't know. It was just trash. It was just. I'm not trying to put it down. I know they got to start off somewhere, but it was just trash because the same stuff that was getting posted on her OnlyFans, the full video was on her Pornhub, and it was also on her Twitter. I'm like, come on, man, like leave a little appeasing, but that's what it is. It is. It's like a
you
sample.
know what? A lot of people don't know that you have to change the settings on OnlyFans. The default setting automatically upload if you connect your Twitter to your OnlyFans, the default setting automatically uploads everything also to your Twitter. So you have to change the settings when you start your account so that it doesn't do that.
So you've done a lot of scenes, right? Like BDSM, shoe porn, foot fetish. I believe I saw girl on girl. What is
Mhm.
like the day to day basis? Like who comes up with the scenes? How's this how does this come into fruition?
So it depends on what shooting and who it's for. If it's for like a major production company, there's a director or a producer that chooses what the scene is about and who's going to be in it. So you usually don't have much say as a performer. Um, a lot of professional scenes, you pretty much just say what you don't want to do and then go from there. Um, but if it is like if I'm shooting from my own site or if another performer's shooting for their own site, we can kind of collaborate and come up with the ideas together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it really just kind of depends. Like a lot of what I do now is solo work, so I just kind of wing it and shoot whatever I feel like my fans want to see at the moment. Um, but yeah, like I said, if it's for a major production company like a DVD release or like for kink.com or something, they just tell me what they want and I show up, you know, and I can either agree to it or not.
Mm-hmm. What's like your goals as far as this industry goes? Because right now you have a strong following. Um, you're everywhere. Are you looking to stay more on the camera? Are you looking to move more behind the scenes to do like your own production and your own network?
Um, I would like to produce more. It's kind of hard right now because of the pandemic. Like I'm trying to limit how much I shoot with other people right now. But I think once we're all vaccinated and things get a little safer, I definitely would like to start producing more. And I'm in some talks with a couple of the major production studios to start directing. So we'll see how it goes.
That'd be dope. I'm really hoping that that happens. Do we have? Is there? How do you
And also I have been producing online burlesque shows lately.
like on your Instagram live?
Yeah,
Or this is like
it's pretty.
this,
No, so I do it through Zoom. I've been doing it bi-monthly because it's a lot of work goes into producing it. Um, but it's called Doomsday Cabaret. You can follow them on Instagram, Doomsday. And I bring together all sorts of like circus sideshow performers and burlesque dancers, drag queens, all sorts of performances, and then we all get together and put on a really cool Zoom show.
I gotta check it out.
And I've been donating all the ticket sales to sex work charities and mutual aid funds. So the last show we just had on the 6th, we donated all the ticket sales to St. James Infirmary, which is a sex worker occupational health clinic in San Francisco. and it's a nonprofit. So I feel pretty great about being able to help them out.
I definitely respect it. It's great to get back because there's a lot of things I noticed about like it's a union for sex workers. There's talent agency for sex workers. I tried it. I'm not even gonna lie. I tried it when I was 18. I really tried to break into it, but obviously it didn't work out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's comedy in the podcast right now at this point.
It's a hard business, especially for men. Like men have the hardest time in porn, like because there's so many men that want to do porn that it's like the men are a dime a dozen, and also like the job of a man in porn is so much harder than a woman's job. Like it's really complicated for men.
Is it
It's
true
really
that for men
complicated.
they
And
tell
also a
you?
lot of the
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
say what?
I said I'm sorry, I cut you
Oh,
off.
it's okay. I was gonna say a lot of the major production companies only hire the same like 3 or 4 guys also. So like they just pick who they like and stick with it.
Is it true
And
for
that's why you see a lot of the same dudes over.
yeah?
Hmm?
Is it true that for males, like they tell you when they get an erection, they tell you when you can come? Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah. So a guy's job, especially like a straight dude in porn, pretty much you show up and you expect like 5 to 8 hours of being hard. uh, and yeah, depending on the scene and like how long it takes to shoot it, there's different camera angles, a lot of stop and go. And then you can't come too soon, and then you have to come pretty much on cue. It's a really complicated job for guys. Like I don't know how they do it. I don't think I could do it if I had to, you know. It's I don't know how they do it, but it's a special talent.
It really is. So how does it work for the women as far as you just show up to the shoot, record, and that's it, or
Yeah, I mean, we're on set just as long, if not longer, because of makeup and wardrobe and things like that. But women have lube. Women don't have to keep a hard on, I guess. So it's not quite as complicated, but it's still a lot of stop and go and like long days. And like the camera person's like right up in your business.
shout out to them because sometimes those angles they be having, like I don't know if I was a cameraman, I would be able to shoot the angle where the dude is clapping the women's cheeks and he's right underneath of the salad. I don't know if that would be that's different. If anybody
What's
was looking,
really funny is when it's like a POV scene, so it's like from the guy's point of view, usually the camera person is like standing over the guy's head, shooting down at it. Like there's a lot of really awkward positioning. You have to really be able to get comfortable with the camera person.
I honestly would be afraid from both aspects,
Yeah,
the
it's
performer and the cameraman.
and it gets even more complicated when you throw bondage into the works. Like I've had situations where I'm like tied up and I have to have someone scratch my nose for me, you know?
Did you ever have an awkward or weird moment while on set filming the scene?
Oh yeah, tons. Tons of awkward, weird moments. There have been a couple of times, especially during bondage scenes, where I'm like tied up and there's like a butt plug in me, and then the butt plug falls out. And someone has to help me put it back in because I'm tied up and don't have my hands free. So things like that happen all the time. There have been a couple times I've squirted on the cameraman and the director. Things happen.
I can only imagine though. It seems like it's a lot of production for like a 20-30 minute set clip video.
Yeah,
It is. There's a
a
lot of
lot goes into it, and like especially the bigger companies, like there's some very serious equipment involved, like very serious cameras and lights and all that. Like they take it seriously. And some days are really long, like the big features, a lot of the big parody features. Sometimes you're on set for like 13 to 24 hours. Like it's crazy.
I saw a parody when they did Good Times that tripped me out in Scooby Doo. Have you ever done a parody?
Oh yeah, I've done a ton of parodies. I've worked a lot with Wood Rocket. I did uh Nardians of the Galaxy. I was Gamora in that. We did a Dragon Ball Z parody and I was Piccolo. All sorts of shit. All sorts. Wood Rocket does some really fun ones.
Their Good Times one just threw me off. That Good
They get
Times,
real goofy with it.
yeah, that Good Times when like they had like book 'em. It was, I don't know. I'll check it out some other time. It was just
There's a there's a SpongeBob parody out there too.
I saw that one. I saw that one. I saw the SpongeBob parody.
Yeah, that's a Wood Rocket one. That one's like legendary. That one and the Pokemon.
When I first saw, I'm gonna go back to the Ultimate Surrender. I saw the Ultimate Surrender, and it's like an actual announcement that they make. Like it's in sports. You guys wrestle. I guess who gets the most points, whoever gets pinned, is the winner, and then you guys just have, just, I guess, have sex afterwards. But in the process,
Yeah.
I saw like you guys are trying to have sex. And if you guys haven't seen it, look at the Ultimate Surrender. Please look it up. Uh,
Yeah.
how does the preparation for that go? And like, did you were you athletic in school? Were you a wrestler in school? Or is it just something?
So I actually did some wrestling in high school, and when I first started doing the wrestling fetish stuff for like smaller production companies, I got some help from people that were training me in jujitsu. So that made a huge difference. And also, like, after you do it for a while, you kind of learn along the way. Like, I always like going up against people that are more skilled and more experienced than me because I always learn something from it and it improves my skill. But I did take some jujitsu classes and I did have some people training me behind the scenes. And some of the wrestlers are like actually seriously heavy into jujitsu, like Ariel and Mistress Kara and a lot of, and Cheyenne Jewel, all like actually legitimately train.
So, in other words, for the listeners out there, Daisy will kick your ass. Plain and simple. So, I would love to take her to a bar.
Yeah, I will. And probably win too.
My money's gonna be on you. If I ever get in any trouble, if I'm in the bar for, I'm definitely gonna look for you because I press charges. I
I
don't
got your back.
appreciate you. I appreciate you. Is there any advice that you want to give to those that are actually trying to break into the game or just starting out? What advice would you give them?
um, I would say focus on improving production quality, like learn how to use lighting, learn how to use your camera equipment properly, get a good microphone, focus on production quality and marketing. Marketing is really the key to actually making money in this business. Like, you don't necessarily need to shoot for big companies. You don't necessarily need an agent. You can do it all on your own, but you have to know what you're doing. And it's not going to be easy. It's a lot of fucking work. Like a lot of work off camera. And you're going to have to focus on building up a following. You can use the tube sites to drive traffic. Like, a huge amount of traffic comes from tube sites. And a huge amount of traffic comes from Twitter as well. So like really, really, really focus heavily on marketing and networking with other people in the industry, because that's really where it's at. And also like make sure you maintain a good reputation, because word gets around fast if you treat people bad, you know? And if nobody wants to work with you, then you're just stuck working by yourself.
So for those out there, if they want to support and follow you, subscribe, how do they do that? What links do they go to?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Daisy Ducati. You can follow my burlesque show, Doomsday Cabaret, on Instagram. I'm on onlyfans.com/Daisy Ducati. And all of my other links are on my Twitter and my Instagram. I'm all over the place. You can check out my verified Pornhub. There's
Yeah.
all sorts of fun stuff there.
So for you guys out there, Daisy was very patient with me. She blessed me with the interview. She has a big following. Make sure you guys support her. She's upfront. She's very personable. I give her that. She's real down to earth.
Thanks.
If you click the link in the bio, support. I believe you have merch out as well too, right?
Oh yeah, daisyducati.com. I've got some t-shirts and hoodies and coffee mug. I'm gonna update that soon with more. I designed the whole thing myself, and I just made all the designs myself. So it's again a lot of work, but I'm gonna put some more stuff on there soon.
And if you guys would like I said, doing this podcast comes up, make sure you follow me personally at RomeFunny_89. You can follow the podcast at No ID Podcast on Instagram. Click the link in the bio. I got every link to everything that I'm actually featured on. This is season 4. So we've had interesting guests up here, and this is by far probably one of my favorite interviews of season 4. So make sure you guys like, share, comment, subscribe to what me and Daisy are both trying to do.